Hello and welcome to an all new episode of the Spotlight. I am one of your hosts, Kente, all the way live from Los Angeles, California. I am so happy to be here tonight with the one and only Jen, my co-host. Hi, co-host, how you doing, Jen?
Hey, I'm doing good. Really excited to talk about some cool stuff.
Now I know we talked about this on the show that we did on Monday night, or I'm sorry, Tuesday night. But I feel like I have to do that because there's people that are fans of yours and they know that you were in Hawaii. So please just let our viewers who know and love you know that you are doing okay.
It's funny. I have probably gotten, I don't know, a lot of messages asking me. People seem to think that Hawaii is like all connected, and it's really not all connected. We're about maybe 100 miles away from where the big active lava stuff is happening, so I'm safe. No problems. There's no killer tsunamis coming. There's no nothing. We're all good.
Well, I'm glad of that. We always think of Hawaii as a paradise, which it is, but then there's also other things that you got to worry about. Which in any place you live, I live in paradise too. We got to worry about earthquakes, even though it's been a while since we really had a one of note. But so I guess that's the price of living in paradise, right?
Well, I had somebody ask me what happens if the lava takes out the bridge, and I was like, "What bridge?" Apparently, some people think there's bridges in between the islands. So
There
it's
isn't.
great. No, it's one of my that actually is now one of my favorite questions. I think my all-time favorite question though is still when people ask me, "Do they speak English in Hawaii?"
Oh wow.
Yes, yes, we all speak English in Hawaii. We also all live in houses. We don't live in huts or anything, so it's very modern here. We even have a Target. Everybody, it's pretty cool.
You're doing it big when you got a Target. All right. Well, I'm glad that you're doing good. And today we have a returning champ back to the show. This brother, I was fortunate enough to meet. We both had a film in a film festival. And when I saw his film, I was like, I felt pretty good about the one we had in. And then when I saw his film, I was like, man, we got to go back to the drawing board.
Oh, brother.
it's, it's the one and only Damien D. Smith. What's
Hey
up, Damien?
everyone. Hey everyone, how you doing today?
Yeah, man. To this day, man, I just love that movie about that. It's just so good and so inventive, and if anyone hasn't seen it, they gotta definitely check it out, and they can do that on what iTunes, right?
Yeah, About That is available on iTunes for purchase for $2.99. So you can support some indie art for $2.99 on iTunes.
You know what I think I might do? I might do a video, like a video of films by independent filmmakers that, especially that I know that are available, especially for I wouldn't even say it's a reasonable price. That's like nothing. I mean, people throw away $3, at Starbucks. That's half of what they get at Starbucks, right? Just
Yeah,
you
caramel
know,
macchiato. I think. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna think I'm gonna do something like that because I think there's a lot of films that people need to know that exist that you're not gonna know unless you're fortunate enough to see a show like this or be at a film festival or just hear, if you keep your ear to the ground. And that's definitely one of the good ones about that for sure.
oh man, appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. We all, as indie filmmakers and all of us, in the arts, need as much support and assistance as we can get for people to, just check out our art, man. And art and commerce go hand in hand. So artists have to eat too. So we really appreciate it.
And we're both from Los Angeles, and it was funny because both of the films that I had and you had at the film festival, we shot like at the same location as well, which
Uh huh.
was really interesting. So,
Yeah, like the Leimert Park area, right?
right, Leimert Park, right, which was funny as heck because we shot in the bathroom at near Aki Bamboo, which is my favorite Jamaican joint in Los Angeles,
Yeah, yeah.
and I remember I was on the ground with my partner Miosha, and we were shooting underneath the bathroom stall, and a woman walks in and looks at us because we were in the girls' bathroom, and she looks at us like, "What the hell is going on?" And we're like, "We're shooting a film," and she goes, "Okay, I'll just go, just leave." It
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
Hey man, let's give a shout out to those to the good people over at Aki Bamboo, because they allowed me to shoot and they didn't know me from Adam. Like I had been in there, I patronized the business several times, but but I didn't really know me to allow me to shoot the film there and use their facilities and resources. And I really do appreciate that. They're really dope, and everybody go out there, and it's great. It's great Jamaican cuisine too. So go down and check it out. When I first moved to LA, I had moved out here from New York, so I was looking for the good West Indian food, and that's it. And that's the place to hit it up. Check it out, y'all.
Real talk. Anybody who knows me knows Aki Bamboo is my spot. Oh man, the short ribs. Oh, man, the jerk chicken. I mean, everything they got there, and you gonna this turned into a commercial for Aki Bamboo.
Yeah, right.
But I love that place legit. So
well, they deserve it, man. Look what they do for us indie filmmakers. They support us. That's what we need. We need support to get the message in the movies and the films out to the masses, and they help facilitate that, because a location rental fee can be ridiculous.
Right.
And they're there for us.
Right. It'd be an arm, a leg, and a dick. So yeah, definitely. I'll give up the arm and a leg, but I don't know about the other piece.
Yeah.
But yeah. So before we get into the reason why we have you here on the show, this brother, if you're following this brother on Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter, this last year, this brother's been traveling. Yeah. I'm like, are you on tour? Because this brother was like, I'm probably gonna get some of the places mixed up, but I think you were like in Rome or something like that.
Yeah, I was. I did a lot of traveling because one, I was in St. Louis, where I'm from. I was there for like 3 weeks. I was dealing with family things like that. But then I went over to New York. I was in New York for about almost a month, because I was also editing a documentary that I'm directing called Target St. Louis. I was there working with that, and then I was in New York, living New York life. And then I went over to Germany, and I was in Germany for a minute. Then I went over to Ireland, and Ireland is beautiful, man. I had never seen green like that until I went to Ireland, and I was all around and seeing. I was in castles, man. I went all in these castles from the 1300s and learning all these stories of these Celtic and Celtic clans, and how all this happened, learning the difference between Black Irish and regular and Irish folks, and the North and the South, and all those things, man. It was beautiful. And Ireland is not that big, that I come to find out that I didn't know. So I went from one part of Ireland to another part, and I stayed in different towns and things like that. And I went over to the Isle of Man, which is a country which is south of Ireland and south of the United Kingdom. And I was there for a little while, and then headed over to the UK. And I was in London with my peoples for a few weeks as well, man. So I had to did some traveling in the summer.
If you weren't putting it on social media, I would have thought you was on the run. How you was going through this?
Yeah, man. Hey, hey, man. We are global people, man. We are global people now these days, man. Get a passport and go. Mm-hmm. Get a passport and go, because that's what the world. We got experience. It influences your art. It influences everything. It influences how you interact with people now, because you're dealing with different cultures, different lives. I always love to travel. I travel a lot if I can. I'll travel much more if I wasn't always on a grind, hustling and creating like that, man. But traveling, passport's a plus.
Yeah, I have my passport too, so I plan on using. I just got it last year. Ooh, excuse me, something in my eye. But one thing that I loved about I was following your trip, man, because you did a great job of chronicling it on social media, man. And I was like, I was kind of living vicariously through you, man.
Hey,
so, yeah,
that's beautiful. It's beautiful saying that, because that's one of the reasons I'm not the most open person. when it comes to especially social media, man. I tell you, I'm late to the party. Tell you right, and I understand that, and I'm okay with it. But I was hearing things from my family and friends from St. Louis, man. Like, hey, man, you jog, man. I check out you on Instagram. You make me want to make me run, man. Keep posting, man. Keep posting about your jogging. And I'm like, oh man, appreciate it. Then I started to talking to my little cousins and family and friends from back home. And like, oh man, you went over there, man. That's cool, man. I got to see this through you. So I see that this is a service that it's a platform that allowed me to take, I can't take everybody with me, but I can show you what's popping. And hopefully it inspires you to say, hey, you know what? Damien been talking about this passport thing for a minute. Let me go ahead and just grab one and take me a trip. So at least, at least I can, say I've been out the country. And once you get out the country and once you travel, it opens you up. It's like, I don't know if you into tattoos or something, you get addicted to it. You want to go see the world and you want to express and things like that, man. So I do it for inspiration as much as I can, because I want us to get our passport. I want us to travel. I want us to be, citizens of the world as opposed to being just, landlocked in the U.S.
Yeah, that's definitely well said, and that's something I plan on doing. One thing I want to do is I want to set up a group trip to Kemet. That's like my dream place to go. I haven't been yet, and I'll be, I really want to do that, because you never know the way things are, and they want to close these borders and whatnot. Yeah. So you probably should do it now. And what am I going to wait for till I'm 90? So, I want to do it now. I can get around and enjoy it. You know what I mean? So,
let me know, brother. I'd love to sign up with
you. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set it up so that get as many people to go down there and really just ingest the history and really go back home.
And that's one place I haven't been yet, and that's my next trip. I got to get over to Africa, man. I got to get to the continent of Africa. I've been having an affinity to get to the Congo for some reason, man. And I've never, ever since I was a kid, I said I want to go to the Congo. And I just never knew. I still don't know exactly why until I get there. I think it'll open it up. So I want to get over to the Congo, South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, and just want to travel all around. Just want to take some time. I think after I finish my my feature, I think I'm gonna take me a pilgrimage.
Oh yeah, man. Those are experiences that everybody that I know have been, has totally changed their life, and I want to experience that for myself as well. So
nice, brother.
Yeah. Now, before we get into more about you and what you've been working on and such, I remember seeing on Instagram. Were you at a Black Panther premiere, or was that a screening? I'm not quite sure.
No, I went to the premiere.
Oh, that's what's up.
And it was Wakanda forever, my brother.
That's right.
When I say it was beautiful to see that, it was one of the best. I've been fortunate enough to be able to go to a nice amount of film premieres, and that by far is the best I've been to, because the level of excellence and Black excellence that was represented in at that place was. First off, Angela Bassett was walking around looking like an angel. Angela Bassett is a woman of a certain age, and that woman looks like she is forever 31.
Right. You know what I have to say about Angela Bassett? She's beautiful on screen, but in person, oh my gosh!
Man. Yes.
TV and movies don't do her justice.
No, movies do not do Angela Bassett justice at all. And Lupita don't do her justice either.
Oh man,
yeah, doesn't give Lupita. And Lupita, that is a beautiful woman, man. Beautiful.
Oh man, she's my little African crush. So I love me some Lupita Nyong'o, and in that movie she was awesome, as well as Denai Guerrera. And,
Letitia who plays the little sister.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, the whole experience, man, was amazing. And they had and the after party was like you going to, it's like you were at the after party was at the oh man, what was it at? What's that hotel across the street from? It was across the street from the movie theater, the big one that everyone talks about. I can't remember.
Chinese?
No, not the Chinese is where it was. The hotel across the street.
Okay.
The one
I know what you're talking about. Not the W.
Not the W. No, not the W. It's
but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Here's with an R, I think. The Red Berry, the Roxy. No. It's the Roosevelt. Jesus.
Roosevelt. Yeah.
The Roosevelt. The Roosevelt looked like it's like a Wakanda royal court. When I say it was amazing, everything. It was black excellence everywhere. It was dripping. Black excellence was dripping all over that place.
I love it, man. I love it. And it was a tremendous film too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, yes. Ryan Coogler did an amazing job. So yeah, kudos to them. And it's on Blu-ray now. So
yeah, it just came out on Blu-ray, and I'm hearing it's breaking numbers again. It's breaking records again on Blu-ray, and it was released on iTunes I think a week earlier, and everyone started to really took to it and was buying it. It was I'm so happy and proud about this film, and I'm so happy it was so good.
Yeah, it's so good. He's 3 for 3, Ryan Coogler.
Oh, he's killing it.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Ryan, he's killing it, man. Yeah. Ryan Coogler is killing it.
Now, last time that you came on Indie Radio, you had this the project, and I'm sorry that the name escapes me.
Second.
There you go.
Yeah.
And talk about the experience now that it's been some time since.
Second has taken a life of its own, man. It's an interesting film because it focuses on another way of looking at this police brutality situation and how these officers are murdering our brothers and sisters, indiscriminately. So, and it took it from it took a mental health route. I took a mental health route when I was writing it and putting it together because I wanted to first, like I said before, present a third deterrent for these guys. You might get off by public opinion because maybe, like, for example, the community that you live in think, hey, you did the right thing, and we all know that some like-minded individuals flock together, and then maybe you get off on the court, like the judge, or they don't indict you, you don't have to go to trial, all those things, you get off from that. But the one thing you cannot escape is yourself. You cannot escape you being a human being. If you kill someone unjustly, it's going to leave an imprint. It's going to leave something on you. And I wanted to present that aspect of it to show, as another deterrent. Like, give you a half a second before you pull that trigger. You think about, am I going to be able to live with this? And that brother might be able to dip left or dip right and get out of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man.
I want to give them options.
Yeah, man. That was very, very powerful work, man. Definitely.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much, brother.
Now, talk a little bit. You kind of briefly mentioned Target St. Louis.
Yeah,
for those who may not know, talk about that a little bit.
Sure, man. Target St. Louis is a documentary that I'm directing. It's we're in the editing phases now. It's a feature-length documentary. It's focused on post-World War II. During the Cold War era, the military conducted secret chemical testing on poor Black people in St. Louis. It's from the neighborhood in the area where I'm from my hometown. And how I came about this documentary, my grandmother and I communicate with each other through sending clippings to each other on occasion. So, like, she'll send me a clipping that was from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and we'll discuss it or talk about it or something like that. And so she sent me one this time. She was like, I was in this area. It was around the Pruitt-Igoe housing complex areas where the majority of the testing took place for St. Louis. And what happened is that I lived in this area. And I was like, oh yeah. So I started doing some research and doing some preliminary research, and then really got into it. And then it was it's a Dr. Taylor, Lisa Martino Taylor. She had wrote a thesis statement about this, and exposing a lot of this illegal testing done by the government on poor people in St. Louis. And so I was able to contact her, and me and the team were able to get in there and figure out what actually really happened. And she was a great resource. Dr. Taylor is the best. She's really cool, really nice, really nice woman. And she was really, her findings are public, are published. So we was able to go through those, read those. And then I started, speaking to people who were actually in that area and was actually affected by this chemical testing. And throughout the stages of interviews that we did with, and the sad part for me is that not just as our people were affected, it was my family in particular was affected a lot as well, because my grandmother is from that area, and then I have uncles and family members that are in the documentary as well that were actually in that area, and they suffer from these health defects and these health problems from the testing in this area. And a funny thing, that the testing was going concurrently at the time that the Tuskegee experiments were happening as well. So they weren't just testing the brothers from the Tuskegee experiment; they were testing all around. They were doing several testing under the Board of Health, and a lot of ways they schemed it and hid it to make it seem like it was something else. But this is actually what it was, and we go in depth in that, and we go in depth of the history of St. Louis, my hometown, and I had that. I'm not a documentary. I'm a filmmaker,
right?
But I know documentary filmmakers who are like, this is their world. I'm dabbling in their world because I have a passion for it, because it's from my hometown, and my hometown and also my family was affected by this as well. So I was compelled to take my resources and my talent and fight against the system and expose the system, speaking truth to power as much as I can about a heinous atrocity that happened towards our people. Man, we can't just let these things just ride out like that.
Yeah, man. And it's so important to get these stories told, because to be honest with you, if we don't tell these stories, they'll never see the light of day. So I want to thank you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it,
and doing the research too.
Yeah, the researching, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And the stories are so compelling, man. And it's been, it can affect you mentally as well, because you're thinking, you don't know why you feel this way, or you think you're just unlucky, or you just think, this cloud of, of bad luck and bad timing has surrounded your family. But a lot of times there are people responsible for this, why you can't breathe easily, why you have certain deformities, why certain things happen. It ain't because you have been, I'm a believer in God. You have been, you've been, looked unfavorably by God, or God's giving you these tests to go through and things like that. Sometimes these are man-made issues, and we need to expose that, because the more we know, the more information that's out there, then we're able to, make sure, if one, it doesn't happen again, and then secondly, protect children.
That's right.
The people who cannot fight for themselves. So we got to be there for our people.
That's right. Jen, are you there?
I am.
Okay, I sent you something on Facebook Messenger. But yeah, I had to. But
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, just check your Facebook Messenger. With another thing too that people don't understand is that these things actually affect generations of people. Like, they think, because you always hear, oh, that was so long ago, but they don't understand that the effects of this stuff travels from generation to generation. Can you speak a little bit on that?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, brother. And they use it was cadmium, white phosphorus, and we all know that cadmium is a cancer-causing agent. And that stuff, and some things can go down. You just know, everything can get into your DNA. It's a lot of stuff that really could affect people, and also their offsprings and everything, man. And mentally, and who knows? It might. St. Louis is my hometown. I love it. I love the people there. Really good people there. But there's a lot of poverty, and there's not a lot of opportunity when it comes to like jobs and things to do, and it was a very violent place. St. Louis is, and this might, who knows that who can say for sure that this may not have something to do with it.
Right.
But the government just left you to your own devices. That we did these tests and we're gonna keep it moving, and no follow up, no, let me make sure these people were okay. And then they tested people without their knowledge.
Right.
And here's a real quick fact about this. They also did other testing, but they informed that city that they were testing, because that city, that area, what they were doing was predominantly Caucasian. So they informed them and let them know, and that city, you will have to check out the documentary to find out what, that city was able to revolt. They broke the apparatuses. They literally kicked them out by throwing rocks at the trucks and kicking these people out, because as a kid when you used to have We used to ride around in the you see those trucks spraying for mosquitoes and things like that. We had them in St. Louis, but you know, you're like, oh, they spraying, you know, pesticides. So that's what they were doing in St. Louis. They would come around with trucks and station wagons. You think they're spraying pesticides, so your kids out there playing and all this, but what they're really doing is doing chemical military testing. And but the people of the other city just kicked them out. But they learned from that, and they wanted to make sure they didn't tell the people of St. Louis, except for a few companies and organizations, which you'll find out more in Target St. Louis.
When do you think we'll be able to get a chance to
I'm working to have it done. We're in the editing process right now. We caught up with a few snafus with certain things that were that's at this point just irritants. But we're working to have something for you June, July.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, July. Yeah, June, July, August. This summer, you will be sad. We'll be having the screening this summer, starting in St. Louis and then going all the way around.
All right, man. I can't wait to see it, man.
Oh man, you're the first one I send it to, brother. You supported every project that I've been a part of and I've done, and I really appreciate you and the entire your entire system, man. I really appreciate you guys very much.
Now, that's a big story.
Thank you.
That's a huge story.
Thank you very much. And thank my grandmama. My grandmama is the one who was the catalyst of this all. Yeah, Sarah Modella Bowens. That's my lady.
Do you plan on doing the screening here in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I will. I definitely will.
Oh, that's great, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am, because one is I'm a big history buff, and it's so important for these stories to be told, and I'm just very excited about it, man. You had me the minute you first told me about it. So
thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. All right, so before we go on to your latest project, I want to ask you about now you're a filmmaker, you're a writer, you do a lot of things, but you're also an actor.
Yes, I am.
And so what's going on the acting front?
Oh man, thank you for asking, brother. Well, I went down to South by Southwest this year, South by Southwest, because it's a movie that I'm a part of that I'm in called Jen. It's a coming of age story about a young lady who's having identity with her sexuality and also with her religion. Her mother actually converts to Islam. Yeah, and so it's a story about a young lady who converts to Islam because her mother does, and growing pains within that. And it's a great story. I really enjoyed it. I played Dawood, the father of the young lady's love interest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's it's starring. I'm so sorry. I just got caught up on something. My apologies. It's starring one more because I want to make sure I got everyone's name properly said. It's starring Simone Missick. Simone Missick, which you know her as Misty Knight in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Zoe Renee, who's on The Quiet, who's excellent. Hashim, he's the brother on The Blacklist. Dorian Messick, Simone's husband, and also phenomenal actor. Kelvin Harris Jr., who's in everything in Sundance this year. And last but not least, my wife in the film is Kelly Jenrette, who's phenomenal always. And it's several other standout talents as well. Maya Morales. It's a lot of folks, man. We love it, and we're happy to be a part of it. So it premiered in South by Southwest, and it ended up winning Best Screenplay, Best Writer, Best Screenplay, and now we'll be an American Black Film Festival this year. It'll be in ABFF, so we'll be down in ABFF. So I will be down in ABFF.
All right, that's what's up, man.
So it's a really good story. It's a powerful story. I mean, all I can say is really dope. I got to give it to Nigella. Nigella Munn is the director, writer. This was her first feature.
Oh, wow.
And she deserves all the accolades that she's receiving for it. It's a very beautiful, poetic film. Our DP, Bruce Cole. Bruce has done all type of great things, and he's a storyteller. Just check it. I can't wait till you guys get a chance to check it out when it hits either the big screen or Netflix. That's what I'm assuming is going to go. I'm pretty. They know more of the details than I do, but it's a good film. I can't wait to check it out.
Now, let me ask you a little bit about your vanity, because you're a young brother, right?
Yeah.
And now, as an actor, you're playing a dad.
Yeah, man.
So how do you feel about that? Now being from the leading man to pops.
Man, you know what it was. I've never had any ambitions of being a quote unquote leading man. I thought they were cool. You'd always want to save the girl and get have the beautiful co-host. But I always looked at myself, and I would continue looking at myself as a character actor.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was inspired by cats like Don Cheadle and I liked Sam Rockwell and Giovanni Ribisi,
right?
And who it's all these great character actors. Jeff Goldblum. These were the people who I saw when I was inspired to tackle acting and be a performer. When I was going and doing these theaters, those were the guys who inspired me because they looked like they were having fun.
Right.
Like John Leguizamo was one of a great inspiration to me. Like he was having fun doing what he wanted to do and what he did. Paul Giamatti, he's a character actor, but he comes over and be a leading man, or he be he's number one on the call sheet on occasions. But he's essentially a character actor, and those are the ones I feel had the best time. So that was that for me was it was ever a transition, but also. It did kind of. I was like, do I? Pops. You know what? I read the script. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the director because she was. It was a sister, a young Muslim sister, who was really wanting to show a side of Islam that is not, regularly portrayed in today's media, and definitely in film a lot of times. So I wanted to be a part of something like that. So that's what made me, say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I want to go for it, and I went for it. I grew my beard out. Luckily, genetics kicked in. Maybe from some of that testing, I was talking about the Target St. Louis. I have this gray patch.
Oh yeah.
Right here, that grows with my beard. Ever since I was growing a beard. Really. So that's when it grows out like it did, and for the film, it ages me a little older if you want to play it that way. So it helps out. So.
Yeah.
That was the thing. But I didn't think about that. I feel you. I thought about it for a second, but luckily, character acting is the forte that I want to go into. Like, you remember when Mouse came into Devil in the Blue Dress?
Oh yeah.
All right,
stole the film.
He stole,
Yeah.
You remember when we had Jeffrey Wright in Shaft?
Oh yeah,
that's fun, man. You guys were having fun. John Leguizamo in Spawn.
Yep.
These guys were having Jeff Goldblum in The Big Chill. Ensemble character actors, because I always knew that I love performing. I love stage. I love that. But I also knew that I'm an artist. I was an artist, and directing was also always in my future. So when I was going through my conservatory and theater in New York and all of this, I always had an idea that I want to do both. I was transitioning my artistry to this as well. So it worked out perfectly for me.
I'll tell you though about the gray in the beard. I remember the first time I noticed it, I thought I had lint in my beard. So I was just like, and it wasn't coming out. I was like, oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely an eye opener.
I understand, bro. I definitely understand.
But it is what it is. So it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. So let's talk about your latest project that we want people to get out and vote for.
Yes.
For those who may not know, tell us about the project and tell us about the call to action that we want today.
Oh man, okay. The latest project is Daddy's Big Girl. It's a story that's about about a father preparing his daughter for him not to be around like she's used to seeing him. It was written by Latham Ford, and this is the first project that I did not write that I'm directing. So and that was a challenge that I wanted to take on, and Latham and I said, and after he sent me the script. It's funny how it even came about, because Latham is also a neighbor, and we used to play, and we see each other at the gym playing ball and everything. And he had seen previous projects. And he was like, man, I really like, we like to tell stories and how, I got this thing I wrote, man. I feel it. I feel it. Just tell me what you think. And I checked it out. I was like, hey, man, I like this. It's portraying us in a manner that, again, I try to fight against the imagery that the weaponized imagery that put out against African American men. So that was a box that was checked for me. And then I was like, I like the heart of this story, and let's play with it and make something happen with it. And we went into it, and I directed it, and his brother starred in it, and we just made it to what it was. It was a journey. It was some work, but we made it happen, man. And I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy about it, man. Really am.
Before we get into the particulars about it, it's funny that it's your neighbor, right? And a lot of times, whether it be a neighbor or a friend or something, they always got an idea.
Yes.
And it's never that you really want to do. It's like, oh man, hey, I know you be making movies, right?
Yeah.
Idea. And then you're just listening to the idea, even though you don't want to. And it's always like $100 million budget.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna help you get the money for it.
No. So turn it on over, man. And Mr. Credit, here we go, man. Take that and run with it. It's dope though. Matter of fact, give me all the credit too.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm happy it wasn't that. And Latham, he told me about it. He was like, I seen his enthusiasm about it at the beginning. That's what made me go, all right, let me check it out. And I was like, okay, this is it had the heart. And that's what I felt. I felt the heart in it. And he told me what inspired him to write it. So I was like, oh wow, okay. All right, yeah, let's play with it, because it just aligned with everything that I was about. And I had some ideas on how I wanted to tell this particular story. And it was it came across, I believe, well. So
now it's funny that you broke one of the rules they say you're not supposed to do.
What's that?
But it worked out so beautifully in this film, working with kids, right?
Yeah, man.
But this little girl is so adorable, and you know what?
She's amazing.
You know what's so funny about me is I don't normally like adorable kids. Adorable kids get on my. I'm so weird. Adorable kids, like in movies, sometimes grate my nerves, right? But this I don't know what it is. I just don't like, the little, it's like, I don't know. It just seems overkill. But this young lady that you have in this film is so good. And I really enjoyed watching her. And I loved watching Latham and the young lady,
Jasmine
act with
Jasmine. Everyone came together seamlessly, man. Everyone came together seamlessly. Everyone did exactly what they were supposed to do and took care of everything. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they all really it just flowed. It was very organic, and that's what I liked about it. It was nothing that was seen forced, or was nothing that it wasn't a struggle. We got there. Coy knew her lines very. Coy was 3 years old when we shot this.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And we only had one real rehearsal. The rest of the time she was with her mother, and her mother was like, yeah, I'm getting her ready. I'm getting her ready for a debut, and I'm like, okay, and I had already foreseen some issues going to have to happen. I'm like, okay, it's a 3-year-old we got to deal with. Come on now, it's a 3-year-old. But when I got there, and when I got there on production day, she was so, tight and knew her stuff and so up for the challenge. I was impressed and amazed by it. She has a bright future coming up soon. And I'm looking to work with her again. Because she delivered. She delivered on the adorable. She delivered on lines, and she was just a natural. It was set perfectly, man. She's the heart and the driving force of the film, and I applaud Coy, and I can't wait to get a chance to play with her again.
Mm-hmm. Now, go ahead.
I just got to interject something and say, I've got 3 kids of my own, okay, and I have seen them do everything from school plays to out here in Hawaii we have something called May Day. They've had speaking lines. My son plays guitar, and it is really hard to get your kids to act isn't even the right word. It is hard to get your kids, even when they are well prepared, to be super authentic, because once the pressure is on,
Yeah.
that's a tough role. And this little girl, she is so authentic. There's a seamlessness from what you know is supposed to be happening story wise, and what she is putting out there, and there is no line in between it. It's just perfect. Yeah, she is awesome.
She is awesome, and you know, and we I know when we got to when we were on set, you know, I really had to, you know, we had to work. You know, it was a work because again, she is 3. You know, so it took some time, but when she and I locked in, and we were, you know, you gotta finesse away with a 3-year-old, and you gotta be able and keep it. You have to keep it play. You got to keep it happy because they don't do anything they don't want to do. So you got to keep it a certain type of way and a certain type of way of managing Koi. But it was a process, but it was a good process, and I was happy to be doing it because I see the potential in her, and I see nothing but great things for the future for Koi. And she's a beast, man. She's a beast, and you know her mother gets all the credit, you know, in my opinion. Her mother was there. She was on set with us. We had to, you know, even when delivering some of the lines, you know, when Koi would, you know, veer off a little bit, she helped bring her back in, and we would take time and, hey, let's just play. Me and Koi, I'd be on the ground with her, just playing around and just having a conversation with her to get her right where she needs to be, and then I just slide myself out, and then Latham will slide right on in, and we'll get it going. You know, whenever we came to a hiccup or we came to a point where we can see that she was getting a little agitated, we just, you know, just stopped it and just worked the play of it. They worked the enjoyment of it, and then she was ready to go again. So it's a strategy with working with kids. Luckily, I have a lot of experience working with kids. I used to teach theater to kids at after school programs at risk, you know, those at risk schools that they call it. You know, in at-risk neighborhoods, they like to label. So I work with all, you know, kids from second grade all the way to, you know, 9th grade, and certain in New York and here. So yeah, that helped out.
Where'd you find her?
What'd you say?
Where'd you find her?
Look, like I said, seamlessly. Latham had Koi already.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
Latham had Koi already. He said, I have this little girl, man. She's adorable. You're gonna love her. You're gonna love her. I was like, okay, all right, you know. He said, and I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah, you're 100% right, Latham. Yeah, so.
And kudos to Latham. His performance was amazing. You know, great performance. You felt the heart in the performance, and they had great chemistry. For a minute, I was like, "Is that his kid?"
No,
you know, but no, that makes it even better. That, you know, they developed chemistry on the set. That's awesome.
Well, no, they knew each other because you know, at first off, Koi lives the Huxtable lifestyle. Mom a lawyer, daddy a doctor.
Oh wow.
You know, yeah, she lives the Huxtable lifestyle. You know, she's Latham is a close friend of the family, and he was like, "Yo, man, I'm telling you, she's going to be dope," and he was 100% correct.
Wow, that's great. He was great, and then the mother was great too. And tell us about her.
Jasmine has such a simplistic beauty to her performance that I really appreciated. She came in as a professional that she is, and just delivered everything that we needed. What we didn't have, like, I think we had maybe possibly a rehearsal, but I don't think, if I can remember correctly, I don't know if it was even that. And she came in, and I wanted a certain tone for her, because I mean, without, you know, giving away, I wanted a certain tone for Jasmine, for her character, and she provided that, you know, beautifully, and it was just very present in her performance, and it just really made me feel good. And I got an added bonus. Jasmine has tattoos of Indinkra symbols on her.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and that was because I'm in all my projects. If you, I don't know, I kind of promote like natural hair. on certain things, so like about that, everyone in there was natural hair, had natural hair, and she came in with this big booming afro. I was like, oh yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And she came, and then when I saw the Dinkler tattoos, I was like, oh wow, look at this, everything, the universe was in alignment, and that just lets you know you're going the right way when things line up so seamlessly like that.
Yeah, she's a very beautiful young lady,
Yes, she
as
is.
well as
Talented.
talented as well. So,
Mhm.
because you know how it is. Sometimes that the beautiful will outshine the talent.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
You'll be like, she fine, but she can't act, but not in this case. So that was good. So
yeah.
that was good, man.
She's a total package.
So let me ask you a little bit about your directing style. Like, um, as an actor, I imagine that you use some of your experiences as an actor, as a director,
Yeah.
to get the performances that you need
Oh
to
yeah.
get. Talk a
Definitely.
little bit about that. How you?
Oh man, that me being an actor is one of the biggest benefits I believe that helped me out in my directing because uh, as like I said, as an actor, I know what it takes to get to a performance. Like for example, I know I have a lot of friends that are directors as well, and a lot of them go and take acting classes at some of the biggest workshops and acting and training schools out here because they want to be able to know how to communicate with actors better and more effectively, and they want to see get into what it really takes in the preparation that it takes to get into these characters and how to sustain these characters because it's a process in filming and to stay and live in something and live with a person and live inside somebody's head or someone live inside your head. That's a process, man. That's why everybody can't do it. So they have to go and try to seek that knowledge out. Where for me, this is my training. I come from that, so I'm able to have a shorthand when it comes to like talking to the actors and talking to talking to the actors and talking about their intentions and their performances, and I can speak to them on a level that we are eye to eye. It's not like from this guy telling you what to do. It's like here's another performer who knows what it takes and knows the sacrifice and the time and the dedication and the love for it that you have to have, and also already as a director knowing where I want you to be, and it helps me effectively communicate you getting to that place. So that helps me out tremendously being an actor. For example, like in About That, that's the only one that I was actually I was actually in and directed. What it gave me a perspective that I don't think a lot of directors get because me being actually in the scene instead of me being behind the monitor, I'm in the scene. I know my performance, but I also know exactly what I want, what I want to be feeling while I'm in the scene. And if I'm not feeling it, I'm saying, you know what? I mean, let's try another take, and here are some other intentions, and here's another direction for you to go. And then also because the thing with acting, we don't know sometimes what the other pieces are. That's happening. Like this light is coming in this way for a reason. I'm hitting you harsh like this because there's a sentiment, there's a value of, and there's a sentiment that I'm trying to put across by setting the light out like this. So if you can get in pocket with that, we all can. It push everything. So I'm able to be in it and also express to people, express to them, let's try this out. It's a reason, I promise you, and I'm able to communicate with you, communicate with actors a little more effectively because I'm a performer as well, to show this is what I'm trying to say and this is what I want and this is the reason you're doing this, because it might not make sense to you or you might want to try something else. You definitely can try it because I believe in creativity, but also I need this because it falls in line with the bigger picture, because actors are really consumed about what their role is in a project, which is rightfully so, but there's a whole lot of moving pieces when it comes to a film that I'm able to. I think it helps me communicate a little better. That's you know.
One thing that I love about your work is that you do a great job of making people look good as a director. Like I remember in About That, as well as your other films, is You do a great job with the lighting and with the way that the people are filmed, and you bring out their beauty and also the beauty in the performances as well. And your visual style is really excellent. I was that was one of the things that really caught my eye when I saw your work on the big screen as well as the work since then. It seems like you put a lot into the visual style of what you're shooting. Talk about like some of your process as far as when you're about to shoot, as far as what you're trying to accomplish with the camera, and that sort of thing.
You know what? It comes with especially when I'm, let's say, so the last three of my stories are usually have a component of us, meaning African Americans, or just people of the African diaspora. So I really want to. I really want us to be represented on screen. It's so much. We have to fight against so many negative imageries and so many weaponized visuals on so many different levels, because they're constantly, projecting a stereotypical view of us, and we have to be our eyes got to be open to it, because it's sometimes it's subliminal. It's like it's the positioning of a man. Let's say two men standing, and one guy might be shorter than the other guy, but somehow this guy's taller and this guy's shorter. But and aesthetically, you might not pay attention to it. You might not even thinking about it as anything, but it's constantly, reiterating a level of subordinate, or a level of someone that is not, and I like to combat that as much as possible in my visuals. So I work towards that, and I want our quality to be at a certain level at all times. And it's not just me. When it comes to that, I have a great DPs. The DP I use normally is Noel Maitland, really dope DP, advocate. One of our advocates, the brother's a beast. He's a beast. And Noel and I have done 2 films together, and we're going to do several more together. But for Daddy's Big Girl, it was a sister named Crystal Kelly, because I think it was important to have the sensitivity of I really wanted a woman filmmaker to be a part of this, and the sensitivity, and I knew what the story was, and I knew what I wanted to put across, and also I was working with a 3-year-old,
right?
And you are a lot more comfortable with people who look like you,
right?
And I knew I had to have that around there, because a lot of things to send a 3-year-old off, like, there's a lot of things that could happen. So I wanted to make sure that was represented as well. And we sit down and we talk about our intentions in every scene. There shouldn't be a frame that's gratuitous. Right. Every frame matters, and every frame should tell a story. So that's where that's the school of thought that I come from when I'm directing. I want if you're seeing something, it's intentional, it's not arbitrary, and it's there to push the story forward. I'm here telling you something by looking at this, and hopefully you can go back and watch it again and be like, oh, I've got a new interpretation of it. That's what art is. Art is really an interpretation of what the artist is putting out. Right. And so if you go back and watch some of the greats, like Dog Day Afternoon, Serpico, Al Pacino's The City of God, a lot of foreign films are really good at doing that. American films are as well, but I really want our aesthetics and our aesthetics to be beautiful, or whatever the intentions are. If your intentions are to be grainy and violent or uncomfortable, I want it to be that. But nothing is done without an intention behind it.
What's so funny? The young lady who's 3 years old. What's her name again?
Coy.
Yeah. When I see a young lady like that, or just any kid who can deliver such a great performance at like 3 years old, it makes me go, dang, I must have been slow, because I really doubt at 3 years old, I think I was just picking boogers or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I was that genius at 3 to pull off anything remotely like that.
Hey man, it's these indigo kids, man. It's these indigo kids, man. I got a niece, man. She's working on being 2, man. She can grab my phone and pull up her games and do all this stuff. She can, they're advancing. They're advancing, and that's what society is. This culture is. They're advancing. It's just what it is. I'm happy. I'm happy to see it.
I found a report card when I was like 5 or something, and I was reading it. At first, it was one of those things where it was like, "Oh, this is cool," and then I started reading it, and it was saying it gave me a low score on coordination. I was like, "Dang, what was I? When I had 2 left feet?" You know, like I started getting mad when I was reading it.
Coordination.
Yeah, I was like, I want to recount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted it on Facebook. I'm gonna have to repost that.
Oh, I want to check it out. Yeah.
It broke down like, oh my! It said I got an A in sleeping.
You did nap time really well, huh?
Yeah, I ate and slept pretty well, so I knocked those out the park. But yeah, so but kudos, like I said, kudos to you.
Man, thank you, man. We gotta look good, man. We gotta look good. It's just what it is.
So now, let's talk about the call. Oh, go ahead, Jen, and then
I was just gonna say, Damien, did you use any from a technical standpoint? Right. First, I want to say I really like the way that this thing is edited. There's a nice flow to it. It does not feel choppy. It feels really organic, like people are actually moving in exactly the way that they're supposed to between where the shots kind of come together. But did you use any kind of special filters on any of those shots?
You know what? It wasn't special filters. I think we shot. I think we just used a GH4 or But you know what? I got to give praise to our editor, Alan Sawaley. That brother was our editor, and you might know him. He does the Front Seat Chronicles, who is also a social conscious series about things that happen in front of in the front seat of a car. So Alan is used to editing things that are in one location or so, or minimum locations. And he really with him and I sat down and we, it was so many different options because again, Coy is 3, so she was improvising a lot of stuff that she wouldn't recreate. She just moved on to the next improv or the next thing. And when it gets to, that's when it becomes more of a challenge in editing. So that was a real challenge. So that's what took, longer in the editing process for something that is, essentially like around 8 or 9 minutes. So it took longer because of that, but it succeeded, in my opinion, because of that. But we had to match and things. So Alan was a beast on that, and him and I thugged it out. Alan lives way out, so I would have to take these journeys and go up to Calabasas and we'll sit down and chop it up for hours and talk about what we want to tell and how we want to tell this story. And I sat there and edited with him, the entire process. And he's a great editor. Alan Sawaley, man. Check that brother out.
Nice.
And thank you very much for that compliment.
And for those who don't know, LA to Calabasas is a good trip.
Thanks.
Well, I'm gonna give you one more compliment too, then, because the specific reason I asked about the filters is because there is a noticeable, without giving anything away,
I know
really nice noticeable light change in between certain scenes, and it puts you in exactly the right mood that you need to be in order to sort of understand what's going on. So that's one more really nice level. It's a beautiful layer. Good job.
Thank you, and also, I really appreciate the compliment, and I want to say thank you for on behalf of our DP as well, Crystal. Crystal came in, and we said Crystal and I took a bottle of Jack Daniels. Well, I took a bottle of Jack Daniels, and and we shot and listed this out all the way, and because we knew what we wanted to show and we knew what we wanted to portray, and even when it comes down to the feel and how the lighting should and should not hit, and what we wanted to do. And also that thing that you're talking about, we intentionally wanted to make sure that came across, because also, like I say, every frame is a story being told. So the lighting is telling the story in a situation. When it's getting dark, it's nighttime, night is coming, vampires about to come out, we got to race the sun. Everything has an intention to.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it good though when you collaborate with people and you guys are in the kind of the same headspace, like where you guys kind of see the project kind of similarly, and it makes. I just think that when you collaborate with people that get what you're trying to do with it and have the same kind of goal, it just makes the process so much better.
So much better. It's so much like work with like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm.
There's no uh, film is such a collaborative sport, and it's an uphill battle. You don't want to be in a battle, an uphill battle in a collaborative sport with someone that you got to combat with on a on an unhealthy manner, man. So you got to collaborate with cool folks, and it works so well when you got people who get you and you get them.
I've seen independent films where they did a Kevin Spacey, where they shot dang near the whole movie, and the person was just so reckless. They just went in and said, "You know what? We're gonna reshoot all them scenes again."
Yeah, it happens. Don't get Kevin Spacey.
Their homies are like, "Hey, I thought you was in that movie." Like, oh well, I don't want to talk about it. You know.
Exactly.
So,
I'm always joking that's the and no, I shouldn't say I'm joking. I don't joke. I'm actually serious, but it makes people laugh. That's why I sit all the way through the credits at every single movie, because somebody put love and time and effort and energy and something of themselves into this, and if the very least that you can do is sit there and wait for those names to roll by on those credits, it's an act of love. I mean, there is something sheerly powerful about bringing art to life, and but like you said, you can tell when things collaboratively work together. It feels like it comes together. It's
Yes, you're 100% right. And also what helps with that situation, you got to have a producer who's there for you as well. You know, because focusing, especially the day of, you're focusing on so many different things, performances, little kid running around, you got all these different elements that's rolling. You need a producer there who's going to help drive the day and make it happen. I had a great producer with my producing partner, Risha Archibald. She's always there and making it happen when it came to, like, especially with Daddy's Big Girl. She's on the ground and releases, making sure this person does this person's happy, because the producer's job is to make sure that the artists have everything that they need to do to be the most effective that they can. And I gotta give her kudos for that, because you know it's a collaborative sport and you need your teammates.
that's right. So this part is very important in this episode, is because we really want this to be a call to action.
Yes.
Now, for those who may not know, please break down what I mean and how they can help support this film.
Okay, so here's the thing. Daddy's Big Girl was selected by to be a national finalist in the Gentleman Jack Reel to Reel National Short Film Competition. What that means is that everybody, you know, all the submissions of all around the United States, Jack Daniels does this film competition for inclusion and also stories that might not have been told in the mainstream every year, and they choose 6 films out of this process. I mean, 6 films out of all the submissions that they feel that or stand out or need to get some attention, and they put them in a running against each other to see who's going to be the one film to win. And you know, the majority of the voting is going to happen by line. You know, not the voting, the choice. The majority of the choice is going to fall upon the team over at Jack Daniels and also their partners, which is Lionsgate and Cold Black Entertainment. But but there also is another element, which is an online voting element of this, that's going to represent a percentage of, you know, the vote as well. And we would like, and we appeal to everyone who's listening and watching to vote for Daddy's Big Girl. The link where you can go and vote is on all my social media at this present moment. And also, I'm pretty sure the good brother Kensei is going to post the link up as well, where you can click on the link and it shows you all the films. And you can watch Daddy's Big Girl from this link, from that. And then just go down and click and vote for Daddy's Big Girl. Again, vote for Daddy's Big Girl. The other films, I enjoy them, but vote for Daddy's Big Girl.
Yeah, the other ones are good, but like he said, vote for Daddy's Big Girl. That's it's very important. So what I'm going to do is tonight I'm going to make a post on all my Facebook, Instagram, all of that good stuff, as well as in the show notes for this show. I'm going to include the link directly to the video as well as the link to voting, and we're going to try to get as many people to go ahead and vote. Now, how long do they have until they can vote?
Thank you for bringing it up because I almost forgot. We have now, I think it's 5 more days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
5 more days, 5 or 4 more days to vote. So, and you can vote every day. So if you like Daddy Big Girls, I applaud. I beg of you to vote twice, just on the strength. Just you can vote. You can vote every day if you would like to, on all your devices too, if you would like. Because I think it go through the IP address. But check it out if you really like the film that much. Vote for it as many times as you like. Yeah. So it's a countdown. It's a short window of time that they gave us to get the word out, to have our people vote for it. I think they only give you 1 week to have your people come and vote for it. So time is of the essence, and I want you guys to go and check out the film, and if you like it, check out, vote for Daddy's Big Girl.
Yeah, and you would have to be dead or in a coma or just I don't know, dim-witted if you didn't like this film. It's a great film,
Oh man,
and I'm sure that people will enjoy it. And make sure you vote. Get out there and vote. You'll feel much better than. Now let me stop. I was gonna say you feel
yes, I
better
see you doing.
voting for Hillary, but
Uh-huh.
but no. Make sure you guys vote. And also, we have to support each other. We always say that we want people to make great art, and then when people do it, we don't support. So we definitely need to support. And this support don't cost anything. You don't even have to buy a battle of Jack.
But here's the thing: but if we win, which Daddy's Big Girl win, which is great, there's a $10,000 cash prize, which is great, which is amazing, which is going to go to my portion is definitely going to go straight to my feature that I'm writing called The V, that we're going to be shooting. I'm working to be in production beginning of September, end of August, at least in pre-production at that time, and I'm going to shoot this in St. Louis. So we're gonna go straight to that. So by voting and helping us win this thing, it's going to go straight to another film that's going to tell an aspect of our society that I think that needs to be spoke about. And yeah, and also we get flown down to ABFF, the American Black Film Festival, put up, and we're going to have a special screening sponsored by Jack Daniels of Daddy's Big Girl during the festival, which is another accomplishment within itself. And just being a part of it, I'm humbled and thankful. But to win this thing would just help push forward art and help push forward my agenda of telling stories that need to be told about our people, and not but of the people, not just our people, of people, of all people.
It was funny is when you're a filmmaker or just someone in the arts, there's no such thing as extra money because any money that you get basically goes to your art, right? So
yeah. Any money I get goes to my art. Everything comes in my pocket goes to my art. Like Daddy's Big. Second about that goes out of pocket, goes to my heart. Daddy's Big Girl, myself and the brother Latham, we put out the bill. We took care of the bill for that.
Independent filmmakers, we dream of hitting the lottery so we can make more movies.
Exactly.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
Oh man, I'm gonna go to Tahiti. I'm gonna go to. No man, it's gonna. Oh man, I hit this lottery. Boom, I can direct my feature, man. I get. We think we're the only people who think about hitting the lottery and going to work.
I know, right?
I'm always thinking that. I'm always thinking, what would you do if somebody gave you, some huge amount of money? And I'm always like, I would close up my house and write for the next year. That's it. Man. That's all I would do. Yep. No kidding.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, also, I have a short film that's going to go in production really soon, and Brother Damien's going to be in it. I'm very excited. It's called The Good Neighbor, and you play a very key part of it, and so we're getting all of that together. So I'll be looking forward to working with you, and the great Mio Shabin will be involved in this project too, as well as Richie B. Jacobs, and we're still rounding out the cast. So I'm looking forward to that. It's anytime you get a chance to do what you really love, it's a blessing. So
Yeah.
I always look at it as just getting out there, grinding, and making it happen. So I'll be looking forward to because I already I watch everything you do, and I use people like yourself as an example, as someone I really check out like your work and other people, and I get a lot of great ideas and a great just it really powers you to want to create yourself. And because sometimes you can get down on yourself, you're
Yeah.
not quite sure, and then you get inspired by people, and you're definitely a very inspirational person,
Oh, thank you very
and
much.
I
I really
appreciate
appreciate that. Thank you.
yes.
Thank you very much, man. We pushing, man. We all we got. We all we got. So we got to, we got to protect us. We got to protect each other. We got to work for each other, and we got to make things happen for each other, man, and collaborate as much as possible. You know, and just with your art, man. We got to do it. We just,
Also, also, if you're an indie filmmaker and you're listening and you need somebody to be your cheerleader, you can call me. I will be your personal cheerleader and help you to get that project done. The
uh,
world needs more indie film.
Yes,
oh, thank you.
that's
Thank
for
you very
sure.
much.
All right, so one more time, the call to action. How can
Yeah.
people support?
Yes, you can support by going clicking on the link that's going to be in all my social media. Let me tell you my social media right now. It's real easy. It's Damien D Smith, Damien D Smith. That's my social media handle on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And the link to it, and also you can go to the Gentleman Jack that short film competition. But that's another way to go. But you can click on the link in my social media. You can click on the link that the good brother Kente is about to put up, and you're going to vote for Daddy's Big Girl. And we're going to try to get us to go to push us down to South Beach so we can get going and get some more stories. Again, vote for Daddy's Big Girl as many times as you would like. At least you can vote on all your devices at least once a day.
All right, I'm gonna definitely do that myself. I noticed there was an Earl Smith. Is that a relative of yours?
Oh no, he's not. Let me. Okay, thank you for. Earl Smith is not a relative, but he's a talented sound designer and composer. And I got to give it. And I want to give shouts out because I don't know if you guys enjoyed the score or if you heard the score,
Oh,
but it's
beautiful.
all an original score and it's done by a good brother named Earl Smith and Shayshawn McPherson. These brothers, Shayshawn is a brother who does. You check out Shayshawn. He's a violinist who's out of New York who does work all around the world. Who scored things for the Classical Theater Harlem, TV shows, all type of things. This brother came and did it for a song. So he played violins and Earl Smith, our sound supervisor. This brother he mixed again. We were dealing with a 3-year-old. So the levels of her voice sometimes are not, always there. He was there, and he got in there, tinkered with everything, cleaned everything up, and also he plays the keys in the film as well. So, and also he composed how the score to the film. So Shayshawn McPherson and Earl Smith, these brothers were the ones who's responsible for our score of Daddy's Big Girl. I want to thank them, and also I want to thank Edwin Morrow. He did the graphic design for our poster. Our poster is great. I love it. You'll be able to check that out as well if you go to my social media. He's a phenomenal graphic designer as well.
I would tell Earl after that score, I'd be like, "Yeah, we related."
What?
I would tell Earl after he did that score for you. Yeah, we related.
Oh yeah, right.
We cousins. He did an amazing job. So kudos to him. It was great, and everybody. It was great work. So Jen, how can people get you on social media, and also tell us about your website?
People can get me on social media at Following Bliss pretty much everywhere. And my website is criticallaughs with 2Ls.com.
All right. And you can get me on Twitter at KenteF, and as well as you can go to our website, indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. We will be back next Friday with an all new episode of The Spotlight. As well as Tuesday, we have we're doing a show on the TV series Black Sails as well. So
Yeah.
check that out. And we've been on hiatus for a little while, but we're going to be doing shows more regularly. Looking forward to that. And you guys have a great, beautiful weekend. We'll catch you next time right
Thank you,
here.
Spotlight. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Peace.